Welcome back. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Budapest here in the Carpathian Basin. Hi, Sammy. Hi, Owas. Hi, Ashraf. Nice to see our members. Hello, Tamanish. Hi, Tone. We see. Hi, Lydia. Good to see our regular students as well in this class. We are continuing our task 2 writing that we had just started in our previous class. We did the planning and we completed the introduction, and now we are going to complete the essay. Before we do that, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Please visit us there, join our premium package, and for general IELTS, check us out at IELTShelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots and lots of materials for you to prepare and pass your exam. This is our academic website here with the blue background. You can click that big red button to join there. And for the general, it's a green background, and you can click that big red button to join us there. And hopefully you do. It's worth spending a couple of dollars to improve your band scores for this very important and expensive exam. Students, if you have questions, you can reach out to me at adrian@aehelp.com. And of course, you can download our apps. You can search your app store for Academic IELTS Help, and you can link that to aehelp.com. You can link the app General IELTS Help to gieltshelp.com. All right. So let's get into this task 2 finish. This was the question that we started last class. Let's just review it. So task 2 writing. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Many students do not choose science subjects in university. Discuss the reasons for this and its impacts on the community. So just a very quick little review while a few more students are joining up. Why was it really important to do the planning for this question? So why did we need to paraphrase? Why did we need to think critically and plan for this essay? What was the reason behind that? What was kind of the, let's say, danger in this question that we needed to avoid at all cost? So this is kind of course, for the students that were here in the last class. And okay, so Lydia says to answer the question accurately and directly. Yeah, that's a very nice way to put it, Lydia. Absolutely accurately. All right, yeah, to save some time, Botir, as well, to gather some notes, absolutely. So what was the word in this question that was easily misinterpreted? So what word in this question would be a word that might catch some students off guard, that might be misinterpreted or interpreted in a confusing or difficult to answer way? What was the word here where it's like, oh yeah, wait a second. Yeah, Bekjan, absolutely. Science or science subjects, right? It's easy to just quickly think about what science is without really figuring out what is meant by the word science, okay? So science subjects and majors, those can be very confusing. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm happy that a lot of you picked up on that, wait a second, talking about the concept of science or science subjects is not as easy as it may look at first glance, okay? All right, so we came up with our introductory paragraph. And here it is. So this is the introduction to the essay. It's direct. It deals with the question. Science is only a part of university studies. When students enter post-secondary education, they need to decide whether to learn natural or social sciences or fine arts. This critical choice in their development and education has a major impact on their future lives and contributions to society. The main reasons that many students choose arts subjects rather than sciences is because of their talents and passion in life. Although this may have some negative impacts on society, the overall effects are positive. Now, clearly it's third person voice. There's no I, me, or mine, okay? All right. So now we need to start writing the body paragraphs. Okay. And body paragraph 1 comes from the thesis. Okay. What is body paragraph 1 about in this case? All right. So what should body paragraph 1 be about? What should it focus on according to the thesis? Okay. So it should be about talents and passions. That's right, Alex Joseph. So more simply put, it should be about the reasons. That's right, Jainiel. So the reasons for not sciences. Okay. Which is, of course, passions and talents. Okay. And what's the first sentence of the body paragraph? Now, somebody asked me how long should the introduction be. The introduction for a 250 to 300 word essay should be anywhere from 50 to 80 words. Okay? Anywhere from 50 to 80 words. So, what's the first sentence in a body paragraph? Okay. Lydia, it's the topic sentence. Yeah, topic statement's okay, topic sentence. And what is included in the topic sentence? Okay, so first one is a topic sentence. And the topic sentence includes what? What is the topic sentence? Bekjan, I think you can mix the 2 points here in the topic sentence. Okay, I think it's fine. You could separate them as well, or you could mix them. I think both ways are possible here. All right. Amanjad says, to begin with, a person opts for arts for various reasons. First and foremost is interest. It motivates a person for these subjects. Okay, that's a good kind of start. So, students, when you think about the topic sentence, I think some of you are writing it already. Think about definitions for the points. So, definitions, I'm going a little bit more step by step here so you can really produce some good writing. Okay, so I'm going for definition of thesis points. Okay, so another way that you can think about it is a definitive paraphrase. Okay. So here we go. Many learners opt for fine art subjects because they are, now here's the word talented, okay, instead of the word talented, all right, what is the definition for talented? Okay, what is the definition for talented? Okay, so I'm going to teach you here how you can create a good topic sentence based on the point in your thesis. And this is why you want to have a very direct thesis point. I don't just want a synonym like gifted or smart, Sammy, or Nurhat. I want a definition. It's different. Okay, skilled, good at, those are still definitions. What would you call a person who is talented? Okay, Nighayman, innate skill is better. Okay. And there's one little piece that is important for the definition of talented. Okay, Alex, I think you're the closest so far. Alex has a unique ability that differentiates them from the other people. Okay, are we all talented in dancing? And if we're not all talented in dancing, that one makes talented people who are talented in dancing different than people who are not talented. Okay, let's see if you pick that up. So a lot of you are saying some good synonyms, but you're missing a part of the definition. Okay. All right. So I still don't see it here, but close. There's a couple of you that were really close. So many learners opt for fine art subjects because they are, you could write either exceptionally skilled in these domains or in these areas. If you don't know the word domains, you can say areas, okay? So the definition of talented is exceptionally skilled. It's not just skilled, but it's exceptionally skilled. It means that you have abilities which are unique, okay? Another way that you could have stated this, for example, so again, definitive paraphrasing, is many learners opt for fine art subjects because they are, they possess above average skills in these fields. Okay, so that would be another one. So a person is considered talented when they are beyond average, beyond the average person. Okay, when they have an exceptional ability or a unique ability for that. Okay, and also we can include what a couple of you said, innate skills, right? So many learners opt for fine art subjects because they possess innate abilities which are above average in these fields. Okay. Domains or areas would be another couple of words that you could use there. All right. Okay, so that's how you can use the definitive paraphrasing. So the word we had in our thesis statement was the main reasons that many students choose art subjects is because of their talents, right? So we have the word talent as one of our key points at the end of the introduction in the thesis for reasons. And now all we did is in the topic sentence, we gave a definition for what it means to have talents. They possess innate abilities which are above the average in these fields, okay? Yeah, Eunice, you could say extraordinary skills or exceptional skills, right? Okay, now we have a two-part topic sentence here, as Beckjan also identified. So the other one was their passion, okay? So passion in life, okay? So now we need to define that. So furthermore, many students find that okay, I'm not going to overcomplicate here. I'll keep it fairly simple. So furthermore, many students find that non-science, or let's just keep it more simple, find that fine arts are, and then here we would have passion or passions, and now we need a definition for passions. So what are passions? Try to finish this sentence for the second part of this topic statement, okay? And yeah, it is a topic statement in the sense that it can be more than one sentence. So what would be a way to define our passion? So Nick Haim says our personal preferences, strong desire, yeah, our dreams, our ambitions, okay? So write the full sentence for me. Okay, so you're using some good synonyms. I'd like you to put together the full sentence, okay? So furthermore, many students find that fine arts are, and finish the sentence, write the whole sentence. Cavid says the right tool to express their enthusiasm. Okay, I like it. Cavid, I think that's good, all right? Maksud says purpose. Fine arts are the right path to express their purpose in life. That would be okay as well, Maksud. Okay. Okay. So that would work. Yes, Sai, the way to express their feelings, the right path to express themselves in society, Samuel. Very nice, okay? Notice how a lot of you are really putting together some nice topic sentences now, all right? Okay. Puiti says, fine arts are the way of expressing their strongest desires. Very nice, Puiti. Okay, so does everybody get how you can take the key term or the key terms from your thesis in the introduction, and then by creating a descriptive definition, you can create the topic sentence of your body paragraph? Okay, does everybody get that? Everybody gets how to do that? Okay, so don't just simply use a synonym, but use a descriptive definition, okay, which is going to be a phrase rather than just one or two words. Okay, all right. So now the start of my body paragraph is many learners opt for fine art subjects because they possess innate abilities which are above average in these fields. Furthermore, many students find that fine arts are the right path to express their personality, desire, and purpose in life. Okay, good. All right. Ashraf, I can't see everybody in the chat. Believe it or not, everyone, I don't get to see all of the chats. YouTube kind of uses intelligent AI, so I can't even see Gurpreet, Ashraf. I think that's why I have to put mediators in there, okay? All right. Okay, so hopefully everybody has that. All right. All right, so now the next part of the body paragraph, what is it? What's the next part? So what comes after this? This is where a lot of students learn supporting points. But okay, what is that? What is a supporting point? How do you go about creating a good supporting point? That's a good question to ask your teachers. So what should I do to come up with a good supporting point? You come up with an explanation, okay? Now, when you come up with an explanation, what should you think about? Okay, so what do you need to think about when you're coming up with a good explanation? Sied, no examples yet. So we want to come up with a good explanation. Aizawa, I'm Canadian. Okay. Yeah, so we want to explain. And how do I explain? What do I need to think about to explain? Okay. So the first one, of course, that you want to think of is why. Okay, but you always want to ask that in a full sentence question. So why? So why do some people have talents in fine arts? And why do some people feel that this is the best way to express themselves? So you want to think about the why question. Not merits and demerits, Manish, that has advantages, disadvantages have nothing to do here with this explanation. You would go off topic and it would get very confusing very quickly. So you want to think of why, plus you want to think of quantifying, okay? Okay, so those are the two that you want to think about. So why are these and how can we quantify it? So numbers, okay? And you can put those two together, all right? So Beckjan is giving us an explanation, and some of you are already thinking, okay, yeah, I get it. So this is what I need to do. And Beckjan says, people who have an aptitude for singing and painting will often prefer to partake in respective art classes at universities, which later become their main occupation. Yeah, absolutely. So I would do it like this. Different people are born with different skill sets. Some people are born with a great ability for mathematics, while others are born with a beautiful voice. It is not surprising that the latter may find themselves in a music major in university and have a love of singing and songwriting. Okay? So there we have some explanation for it, right? So different people are born with different skill sets. Some people are born with a great ability for mathematics, while others are born with a beautiful voice. It is not surprising that the latter may find themselves in a music major in university and have a love of singing and songwriting. Let's make this a little bit clearer and become performers and songwriters after graduation. Okay. All right. And what would be the percentage? So what do you think is the percentage of the population that is more in tune with sciences? And what is the percentage of the population that is more in tune with fine arts? What do you think? So if we want to quantify it, if we want to give a number here, then what do you think? Yeah, in a game, I would say 50-50. Okay? So, I agree. I think 50-50 would be good. All right? 70-30, 65. It doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to check the statistic. but I would say it's 50-50, let's say, okay? It is not hard to imagine that about 50% of the population is more motivated for arts. Okay, so just a sentence like that. This is kind of a very simple sentence that works really well for explanation, especially in an academic essay. Okay, all right, so far so good. When you're doing this at home, continuously review your writing after each component. So review when you finished your topic sentence, review when you finished your explanation, and then for the next parts as well. So many learners opt for fine art subjects because they possess innate abilities which are above average in these fields. Furthermore, many students find that fine arts are the right path to express their personality, desire, and purpose in life. Different people are born with different skill sets. Some people are born with a great ability for mathematics, while others are born with a beautiful voice. It is not surprising that the latter may find themselves in a music major in university and become a performer and songwriter after graduation. It is not hard to imagine that about 50% of the population is more motivated for arts. Okay? So far it makes sense? All right? And now, what comes after? So what comes next? And of course, make corrections as you see them. Okay. That's right, Nick Hill. Some kind of an example. All right. So let's include some kind of example. Okay. Now here, it's not a personal example. So just give an example that you come up with. Let's see what kind of examples you come up with. Not body 2 yet. We don't have our example here. Okay. Samuel, you could say 50%. Or Samuel, you could say half of the population. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Alex says, for instance, Michael Jackson was an inborn talent with a strong desire to perform creatively, who later became an eminent and loved person that earned millions. Okay, Alex, I think it's okay, but I don't think your example, Alex, is as relevant as it could be to this question of students not choosing science majors and the reason for choosing arts majors. Okay, so think of an example that might work a little bit better. Okay, Lydia Gurgis says, over the last few years, many scholars have tended to specialize in the performing arts at Harvard University as it awards creators with unusual opportunities for artistic growth and transformation. Lydia, very good. Yeah, so exactly. You took a specific university like Harvard. Now, students, try not to always pick Harvard and Cambridge, okay? So there are a million other universities that you can choose from. So University of Toronto, Seoul, Korea, okay? So lots of other universities, all right? Baekjun says, for example, many young singers who have an aptitude for singing do not study science subjects as they have either a great voice or a passion for their major. Baekjun, that's a little bit repetitive. Remember, for your example, students, try to make it visible. Okay. So I would write something like this. As a result, many distinguished universities such as Yale and Oxford, offer a broad range of arts majors and have thousands of students enroll in these each year. Okay, so again, visible, okay? Your example should be always some concept, some phrase where the reader, after reading it, feels like they have a visual picture. So here I can visualize the University of Yale or Oxford University, and I can picture these subjects like dance and art and music and other such classes, and then visualize students going into them. Okay, so now I've finished my example. Okay, again, when I'm doing this at home, I'm going to reread and make sure it all makes sense. Okay, so many learners opt for fine art subjects because they possess innate abilities which are above average in these fields. Furthermore, many students find that fine arts are the right path to express their personality, desire, and purpose in life. Different people are born with different skill sets. Some people are born with a great ability for mathematics, while others are born with a beautiful voice. It is not surprising that the latter may find themselves in a music major in university and become a performer and songwriter after graduation. It is not hard to imagine that about 50% of the population is more motivated for arts. As a result, many distinguished universities, such as Yale and Oxford, offer a broad range of arts majors and have thousands of students enroll in these each year. Okay, all right, does that make sense? Yes, it does. Do I need a connecting, concluding sentence? Not so much. I would be okay with just having this, so I don't think we necessarily need to have a connecting or concluding sentence, but we could. Okay, so just for fun, let's do it. When you think of your connecting, concluding sentence, think of the original question and topic. Okay, so think of the original question and topic, people not enrolling in science subjects. Okay, so think about your introduction as well. Okay, give me a connecting or concluding sentence here. All right. Okay. Glad you're finding the class useful, Manish. Okay, lots of useful classes here and on our websites as well. Lydia, nevertheless, studying fine arts at higher education has several negative influences on the community. The overall effects are certainly positive. That's in our introduction, Lydia, so we don't want to repeat that. Okay, you never really want to repeat any part of your essay, especially for those high band scores. Sammy, whereas the other side, some people are interested in science, that's not really a part of this essay. Okay. Yeah, there we go, Beckjohn, that works. So these are the major reasons behind the trend that many students do not choose science subjects as a major. Okay. Yeah. So these are the main factors for students that or who do not choose science for, and we can be even more specific to the question, many students who do not choose science subjects in higher education. Okay, absolutely. So again, that's thinking about the original question. Remember the original question? Sometimes it seems so long ago that we tend to forget it, but never forget the original question. So many students do not choose science subjects in university. Discuss the reasons for this and its impact on the community. So it's a two-part question, right? Okay, so now we have our concluding sentence. Now we can write our body paragraph 2. So body 2, excuse me, it follows the same structure as body 1. So topic sentence, explanation, example. You don't need a connecting concluding because it's followed by the conclusion. So here we have our topic sentence for key point 2. Okay, now I kept my key points fairly simple here in the introduction. So although this may have some negative impacts on society, the overall effects are positive. Okay, so here in the topic sentence, I want to define the concept of negative impacts. Okay, so define the concept of negative impacts. And then, of course, even more heavily, with more emphasis, define the positive effects on society. Okay, so that's what you need to do. All right? So Dhaliwal says, moving further, the subject chosen by an individual has a direct influence on people and society. Dhaliwal, it's too general. Okay, we already have that. We need to be more specific. Andy, I just read your sentence for the connecting concluding sentence. It's fine. That works well. Okay. So Nick Haim-Un says, the lack of staff who have technical and scientific skills can adversely impact the workforce in society. However, sentimental values of non-scientific disciplines could strengthen the betterment. And then I can see where you're going with it, Un. It's very good. I love the way that you're thinking these days in the classes. You're absolutely on the right track for high band scores on the IELTS and also for good writing in university or in professional life. So good job, Un. I can see some nice improvement. Samuel says, empowering each person through the subject they study could lead to increase in the diversity of citizens, which stimulates radical thinking. So Samuel, that's good. That's the positive side, right? And I definitely think you're on the right path there. You might want to mention the negative side just quickly, just briefly in a few words. Okay? So, sure, all right, I'll keep writing, and then I'll keep checking back, students. So keep writing, okay? Even if I don't necessarily read your comment, it doesn't mean that I don't look at it. And, of course, you're getting some good practice. Okay, just give me a second. I'm just going to put this in the right place. All right. So, although over-enrollment in fine arts may lead to issues in some sectors in society, such as medicine and engineering, if I want to be more specific, the greater benefits of fine arts majors include the advancement of ethics, social responsibility, and positive morale. Okay. And again, if you don't have this vocabulary, it's fine. You can often say the same idea in a simpler way. So Oftentimes, students, it's not about having the vocabulary. Of course, vocabulary helps. I'm not going to be the fool that tells you otherwise. So it does help to have vocabulary. However, it's not a deal breaker. It's more important to have the right idea. So, as we talked about in the planning stage, the people who graduate with degrees in fine arts, in literature, in music, in theology, they play a critical role in keeping the positive attitude in society, keeping people entertained, keeping people's belief systems in check, making sure that people are optimistic. They have ethical values about right and wrong. So all of these are mostly encouraged through people who excel in these fields. Okay, so that those are the positives of fine arts. Okay, so think about all of the services that you use in society which require fine art. So every time you go to the movie theater, that's available because of people who are professional actors, singers, filmmakers, and so on. Okay, every time you go to a religious ceremony, it's because people who lead those ceremonies studied theology. Okay, so think about those kinds of examples. Again, don't forget your top down, so general to specific thinking, but also remember you're specific to general. So think about a specific movie that you enjoyed last week. Why did you enjoy it? Because it was well made, it had an interesting story to tell. What did that require? It required a person who is an expert in script writing, in literature. It required professional actors, musicians, and so on. And that made your day. It made you happy. Okay? So, and then think about it in reverse. All right? So this is my topic sentence here. Although over-enrollment in fine arts may lead to issues in some sectors in society, such as a lack of engineers and medical staff, okay? And you can always be more specific when you review as well, to deficits in some sectors in society, such as engineers and doctors. Okay, it reads better. So review and revise. Everybody can review and revise their work, even the most professional writers. The greater benefits of fine arts majors include the advancements of ethics, social responsibility, and positive morale. Positive morale is attitude, so the positive feeling and attitude in society. Okay? All right. Let's see what else we have here. Roshni says there are grave consequences for society, such as less innovation and healthcare, and the major impacts are, and the positive impacts on society, however, of fine arts are being optimistic. Okay. Cavid says movies and literature often shape the minds of crowds and heavily affect people's behavior in life. Okay, Cavid, I think you have a good piece of information, a good idea there. You need to connect it a little bit more directly to this question, okay? So your idea is good. Keep the original question in mind. So the impacts of not studying sciences in society. Directly tell your reader about that, okay? All right. Uzbek says, in addition to this, there are less research to reveal the majors of science, which is the main cause of falling interests in these. Uzbek, that would be for the previous paragraph where we're talking about the reasons, okay? Now we're talking about impacts. It's really careful not to jump around between these 2 points of reasons and impacts. You want to have those clearly separated in the paragraphs, okay? All right, Samuel says, while the amount of scientific innovation can decrease advancement in society, technological advancement in society, it leads to a plethora of diversity and radical thinking which stimulate social development. Okay, Samuel, that's how I would say it, social development. Okay, and then I think that you have a very good topic sentence. Munish says the advancement of technology has made our lives more comfortable. Without further development of technology, life will lack flavor and will become eventless drudgery. I don't know if I agree with that, Munish. So Munish, always think outside the box. Even before technology, people had fun. People enjoyed life. People laughed. They cried. And they shared in good times. I think people are naive to think that technology is our key to comfort and prosperity. Many people would argue that before technology, our lives were actually much more comfortable and happier. Stress seems to be more prevalent today. So careful not to make statements that are arguably untrue and irrelevant. Okay, be very careful with that. All right. Okay, now comes the explanation. So now we want to explain the benefits in society. Okay. All right, so here we go. So the explanation is coming here. And I feel like I'm kind of jumping to the example now that I'm thinking more deeply about it. So I'm going to kind of go for the explanation instead. And in order to think about the explanation, again, I want to think about why. And if I get stuck or if I accidentally jump towards the example, then I want to go back and think why. So why do these majors create advancements in ethics, social responsibility, and positive morale? So why is that? Okay. So students that become experts in literature, theology, and music exert much influence over society through their voice to shape the thinking and behavior of the public in beneficial ways. Okay, so that's my explanation there. And again, thinking of quantitative as well. Okay, so quantitative. How can I quantify this? How can I add numbers to my explanation to make it clear for my reader? Okay, here's an idea that comes to mind. Most people spend at least as much time with books, movies, and religion as they do at the doctor's or bank. Okay, so here is my quantifiable concept of the influence that these majors have in society. So most people spend at least as much time with books, movies, and religion as they do at the doctor's or at the bank. Now, this together with the previous sentence makes sense about the influence of students who study non-science majors at university. Okay? All right? So, and if I want to be even clearer, I can always add a little bit to it. Okay? And these are all shaped by non-science graduates. Okay, so something like that. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So kind of giving you feedback and then also going step by step just to show you how I would shape my thoughts in this essay based on the planning. Okay. All right. Owa says, although music and art are soul food, they still, science studies that solve real life problems in society as providing health and food, safety and survival. Yeah, always. So good. Again, remember the focus of this paragraph. The focus of the paragraph is the impact on society of many students choosing non-science subjects. Hassan says, obviously, when there are enough number of engineers, artists, and other domains related to science and non-science subjects in the city, this can have sustainable development in the community. Okay, Hassan, I kind of get what you're saying, but it's not 100% clear. All right. Samuel says, for instance, during World War, movies and books influenced the masses and governments to abstain from war to achieve peace. Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, the opposite is true, Samuel, that it can encourage people for war as well. Okay, but good. You don't have to explain all that. It's a 250-word essay. Okay. So Cavid says, for instance, a person is more likely to be impressed by the feelings that a song creates rather than seeing an engineering product. Depends on the person, but Cavid, absolutely, it's arguable. Okay. Jaswinder says, take the example of the famous writer Chetan Bhagat, who was a scholar in psychology from Delhi University and raised his voice about depression. And it's not a shame to express that. Okay, Jaswinder, that's a very good example. All right, very good. All right. All right, so whether a person is going out to the movie theater to watch Romeo and Juliet on a first date, or attending a religious sermon about ethical principles, they are under the influence of students who decided to choose subjects other than science. Okay, so there's my example. And then again, I read my paragraph and just make sure that it makes sense and I'm still on the right topic here. Modern Inshan sermon is a lecture that is a religious topic. Okay, so a lecture which has a religious topic, it's called a sermon. You would hear that in a mosque, in a church, in a Buddhist temple. Okay, so it's the speech of a preacher. That's right, David Valencia. All right. All right, here we go. So does it make sense? Am I on the right topic here? Am I talking about the impacts that it has on society to choose non-science subjects? So although over-enrollment in fine arts may lead to deficits in some sectors in society, such as engineers and doctors, the greater benefits of fine arts majors include the advancements of ethics, social responsibility, and positive morale. Students that become experts in literature, theology, and music exert much influence over society through their voice to shape the thinking and behavior of the public in beneficial ways. Most people spend at least as much time with books, movies, and religion as they do at the doctor's or bank, and these are all shaped by non-science graduates. Whether a person is going out to the movie theater to watch Romeo and Juliet on a first date, or attending a religious sermon about ethical principles, they are under the influence of students who decided to choose subjects other than science. All right, so far, so good. Botir, we will not continue this essay next class. We just have the conclusion. So conclusion coming up. Now, I'm just going to write the conclusion nice and fluently for you here so you can see it. If you'd like, write it with me. If you know the parts of the conclusion, write it with me, okay? In the IELTS, they really like to start with in conclusion, okay? So in conclusion, now, all I do here is this is where I can use a synonym for the key points. So I want to use the definitive paraphrasing for the topic sentences, and then I want to use synonyms for those key points like talent in the points restated at the end. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. So rather than arts or aptitude and desire. Okay, certainly. All right, and there's my take-home message. So this is my conclusion here. My conclusion includes the points of my thesis restated, my argument strengthened, and then a take-home message. So in conclusion, the main reasons that students do not choose sciences, but rather arts and university are aptitude and desire. Certainly, too many students in non-science subjects can lead to bad consequences for the development of communities, but there is a definite need for such professionals in daily life, okay? For professional artists and philosophers in daily life. At the end of the day, humans are emotional and social creatures and often not satisfied by science alone. Okay? All right. So there you go. That's the full essay. Thank you for those of you who were with me in this class, and especially those who were with me in the previous class as well. You can learn lots and lots of these strategies and examples and step-by-step guide and walkthrough for task 1, task 2 essays for the academic IELTS at aehelp.com and for the general IELTS at gieltshelp.com. So check us out there. Okay, that's all the time I had for today. I will post this essay on our YouTube channel on the community board, so you will have a chance to review it. okay? And you can revise it, make it even better, okay? It's not a perfect essay by any means, so an essay can always be made better. I will be back tomorrow at this time and a little bit earlier. I will host a question and answer session for members. So members, get your questions ready for tomorrow's class. And then I will host a part 3 speaking class for everyone. You're very welcome, Ashraf. You're welcome, Uzbek. You're welcome, Hassan. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great start to your weekend. And hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love. I'm Adrian signing out from Budapest. Bye for now.